The folks, we are back. We're back at
Welcome, everyone.
new time, new day. And I think we're gonna keep it for Saturday.
All righty.
From
Yeah, I
now.
think I think Saturdays will be a better day because a lot of people show up and
And yeah, I think it's gonna be a better day for me too. Because on the weekdays,
mhm.
I got I got a lot of videos to film.
Yeah,
I interview a lot of people for the channel.
you're a busy bee.
So it's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic week. Just working
Yep.
and working. And
So
also got, like I told you guys yesterday with Kenton, I'm gonna have minor surgery on June 6th. So
okay,
it's gonna be I'll be out for probably 2 weeks. So
okay,
it, I'll be still able to stream, but for our podcast, you got to take the lead. And in the other podcast with Kenton's gonna take the lead. So
nothing wrong with that.
they're
Nothing
gonna
wrong with
come
that.
up with all the topics. I just
hmm
have to show up.
Yep, that's okay. So
So
we put a poll out to you guys, and you guys wholeheartedly suggested we do this year, which is 1983.
it was.
How old were you in 1983, there, Jay?
Why do you gotta answer that question? Why?
Because my parents were 11.
I was 3.
My parents were 11 in 1983, so
I was still a baby. Yeah, 3 years. I don't even. I don't even remember anything in 1983.
well,
I,
yeah, because you were still in Korea that day, weren't you?
yeah, and I had a bottle in my hand, and not that kind of a bottle.
Starting early, man.
Yeah, can you imagine a 3-year-old getting drunk?
Getting drunk on soju.
I mean, like, oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
can't, I
3-year-old
think I
Jay
acted
getting.
like that when I was 3.
Yeah, there's 3-year-old Jay getting drunk on soju at 3.
But yeah, guys, 1983. In general, the 80s were the best years, man. I'm telling you, I am telling. 80s was the best decade.
So in 1983, Ronald Reagan was still the president of the United States.
Yes, he was.
The Soviet Union was still very much a threat. Um,
Yes, there was. There really was. Good God. And on the Billboard charts, I believe Michael Jackson had the #1 hit.
oh, the best-selling album of all time.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, that
I will
okay.
be here.
So the 1983 was marked by several significant events, including the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger, the
Oh,
successful
that's
launch of
right.
the
Yeah.
Space Shuttle Challenger, the assassination of Benigno Aquino Jr. in the Philippines, the shooting down of Korean Airlines Flight 007, and the U.S. invasion of Grenada.
What was that? The Korean? What? What about
Korean
that?
Airlines Flight 007.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. Hey, okay.
Other important events included the explosion of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, Lebanon.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I know some people who were there.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
So that's a significant event.
That's not good at all.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
truck bomb that blew up the embassy there.
oh, that's blow.
Yeah, it was a truck bomb. So, and thus marking our the official, unofficial. Um,
Okay.
um, I mean, basically, it's the first time that the U.S. should have been alerted to uh, terrorism,
Mm-hmm.
but we decided to ignore it for
So,
almost 20 years until 9/11.
and
But what we
I,
should have done is basically say, hey, this is a serious threat. American lives have been dead because of this.
yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah, 83 was a weird kind of year in the 80s. Yeah, I did a little research on 1983, just a little bit. Uh, I'm into video games.
Oh,
That was the year where the video game industry just went down. They're losing money. Nobody was buying any of the games,
hmm,
and that's when they buried all these Atari Atari games in the desert somewhere.
hmm.
It was a whole big thing about the video game industry losing money.
So
But
actually, Michael Jackson did not have the best-selling song that year.
I thought it was Billie Jean.
Yeah, it's number two.
What?
But "Every Breath You Take" by the Police was the number one song of 1983, according to Billboard Magazine's Top 100.
Uh, that was the police song.
Every breath you take, I'll be
Yeah,
watching you. Hmm.
that that was their song.
Yeah.
I know somebody else
Hmm.
brought it back. I forgot the name of the artist who. Yeah,
Yeah, I forget the name. I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah,
But
who did the recover of it?
and then he got then you got Men at Work with the song Down Under. I come
Oh,
from the land down under.
I love that song. I still love it.
And number five, the fifth best-selling song of that year, of course, is "Beat It."
Yeah, yeah.
But a fun fact about that song: there is an uncredited performer with Michael Jackson in that song who provides the guitar work for that song.
Really?
The guy who provided the guitar work for that song is none other than Eddie Van Halen.
Wait, Eddie Van Halen did that?
Eddie Van Halen did it. Hmm.
Jeez. He has he has his hands in everything
So it seems.
in the 80s. Jeez.
And then you got like Total Eclipse of the Heart, Man Eater.
Yeah, that guy's like
Sweet dreams are made of these.
he was in that too.
No, 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 no. That's the
Oh,
Eurythmics. But
oh,
no, 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 no. I'm just saying that these are some of the other songs that have been released on there.
oh yeah. I was gonna say, man, Eddie Van Halen. Jeez, I give him credit. Let me see something.
And we're hungry like the wolves. That one too.
That's a good one.
Then we got Let's Dance by David Bowie.
I never liked David Bowie.
I like David Bowie. I think he's got. As I've grown older, I like a lot of his more eclectic stuff. Like a lot of his more deeper tracks and stuff like that, because I
Yeah,
think he writes a lot of very meaningful tracks in his deeper stuff.
yeah,
And
that's
then you got Electric Avenue. Electric Avenue. That came out in '83.
uh,
Africa by Toto.
that's a good one.
Yep. How about Little Red Corvette by Prince?
That came in '83 too.
Hmm? Or how about this one? Domo arigato, Mr.
Oh, I
Roboto.
hate that. I hate that song. That is that is the annoyingest song in the world.
There's one that's like an '80s version of the song "Putting on the Ritz."
Oh yeah,
You
there is.
can go where you can go, and the literal guy's name is Taco.
Tango.
The guy that's the guy who did a cover of it in the '83. Taco. Oh boy, here. How about this one? You remember that? You know that one cheerleading song, that Mickey?
Oh yeah. Hey, Mickey Whip.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That came out in '83.
I love that song. I really.
Separate Ways from Journey came out that year.
There was a lot of
Um,
good songs that
What?
came out,
Oh, Party Like It's 1999.
and, and I believe that song, but I didn't have a party in 1999.
Well, you were.
I was 19.
Uh, let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, Rock the Casbah by The Clash.
I do have some sports.
I mean, just so many great songs.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Basically, that was the whole 80s. The 80s had the best music. That was the decade for music. So going into
Oh, that's a great one. Journey came out with Faithfully in '83. I love that song.
never heard of it.
It's a good one. And it's quite sad, but it's good.
Okay.
And then what we got?
Um, in the sports world, Arizona
Mhm.
State beat the Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, and in the Orange Bowl, Nebraska beat LSU. In the Sugar Bowl, Penn State beat Georgia, and in the Rose Bowl, UCLA beat Michigan. Yeah.
Okay. So here's some of the big one that came out in. Here's some of the big movies that came out in 1983. Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, was the highest grossing movie that year.
Was that the? I forgot. Was that the third film or the
That's the
second?
third film that came out. Hmm.
Yeah, uh,
Empire
I,
Strikes Back came out in like 81, I believe.
I really didn't like the third one. It wasn't
You
that.
didn't?
It wasn't that great. Hey, mom, no, 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 you're never late.
It's
We
better
just,
than it's better than any of the prequels.
hmm? Yeah, they're better than prequels.
And then you got Flashdance also came out that year.
Last Dance. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know about
There's
that
one
movie.
called Tootsie, but I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, what movie?
Tootsie?
Oh, you never saw Tootsie?
No.
It's about. I forgot the actor's name, but he's a famous actor. He
Hmm.
pretended to be a woman, so he
Hmm.
dressed up like a woman to hit the work field where it was only men that were working. Great movie. Great movie.
Hmm. Well, one of my favorite 80s comedies came out in 83. Trading Places with Eddie
Eddie
Murphy
Murphy
and
and Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. Mm-hmm. Merry New Year!
I
Yep.
love that movie.
War Games came out in 83.
The original one, not the new
Yes.
one. The original war
The
movie.
original War Games, yes.
You got
And then if you wanted to go and get your 007 James Bond fix, you had Octopussy.
and which was the worst?
It's
My
probably the
opinion.
worst. I mean, it's probably to be fair, Roger Moore is probably the worst James Bond ever.
Are you kidding me?
Either
You
that or
thought Roger
Timothy
Moore was
Dalton.
horrible?
Either that or Timothy Dalton, who came after him.
I forgot who's the actor that was in the James Bond movie with Holly Berry.
That was Pierce Brosnan
Yeah, I didn't like him.
because he's Irish, and James Bond is supposed to be Scottish.
he tried to do a good job, but man,
That's the reason why I don't like Roger Moore either. He's British. He's not Scottish.
yeah, but the actors are kind of similar. You gotta admit. Yeah,
And then we got what we got? Staying Alive came out. Oh, the
yeah,
first
I love.
vacation movie came out. The first National Lampoon Vacation movie came out in '83.
Is that the one where they go to Wally World?
I believe so. Let's see here.
Sean, I agree with you too. Oh, Miles, Sean, yeah, he was the best one ever.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. Sean was the great. Sean
Right.
was the best. I mean,
Yeah,
because
was a
not
tribute.
only I think he captured a lot of the
Yeah, but and he brought them charisma.
oh, if you wanted to get your Steven Spielberg release, we got E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Which was a horrible movie. My opinion.
It's definitely his weakest alien movie. I think Close Encounters is still the best, but
Well, you know, that's my opinion, but I thought E.T. was the worst movie.
here's a good one. Here's a good one. Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder was a good one. I do like that. That was a good one with the Oh, The Dark Crystal came out in '83.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Dark Crystal?
Yeah, I have no idea what Dark Crystal is.
An Officer and a Gentleman. Scarface came out in '83. I didn't know that.
I love that movie.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, Miles, what is Dark Crystal about, Miles?
That is
I would love to know. And
so it's a Jim Henson production.
also,
Have
it
you ever
was
seen the movie?
puppets.
It's mostly puppets. If you've ever seen the movie Labyrinth, it's similar to that.
I never saw Labyrinth either.
Okay, okay.
My bad. I'm
It's
sorry, guys.
it's very similar to they're Muppet-like creatures, so they're all puppets and stuff like that. But I mean, this is Jim Henson at his creative genius. So because I mean, he's creating puppets specifically for this movie. I mean, it's really something.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
David Bowie.
yeah. Labyrinth had David Bowie as the bad guy in there.
Oh,
So
I know who David. I know who David Bowie is.
yep.
Was he that rock star in the 80s?
Huh?
He was that rock star, right? In the 80s? David Bowie?
Rock and pop. He kind of mixed between the two. You remind me of the Babe. What Babe? The Babe with the power. Dance Magic Dance. Yep.
King of the.
Yep. If
So, Mom,
mhm.
how old were you in 1983? I would love to know.
She's probably gonna.
Hey, David,
Miles probably gonna go. Shh.
with the top.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The bulge was pretty noticeable in those pants. So
Why you look at the bulge?
I mean, it's there. It's there. Okay.
So
You
you're telling
can't
me
not
that you
see
can't.
it. Okay.
So you're telling me you can't miss it.
You cannot not see it.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah. I don't know why we're talking about it. A man bulge. Okay, you were 22. Okay, that feels that makes me feel a little bit better because I thought I was old. I was 3. So you got 9. Man, you got 29.
Let's see what was on TV at that time. Hmm?
I bet there was a lot of good shows.
Let's see what's on. I'm pretty sure the Dukes of Hazzard was still on at that time.
Yes, it was. But
The A Team was on.
true.
The
With
A Team was on.
and with the biggest star ever, Mr. T.
So Dallas was the biggest show that year.
That show
And
is still on.
no, no. And then you got Simon and Simon, Magnum PI,
Wow, man.
Kate and Alley, Hotel. There you go.
Wow.
Cagney and Lacey, Knots Landing. Yeah, there you go. The Love
Ooh.
Boat. There you go. The Love Boat. There you go.
Oh, Miles, are you okay over there, man? I'm glad that you're okay. Gee. No, no, Miles, you have to. You do not have to apologize, man. I totally understand.
Just a good old boy.
I'm just happy that you're okay.
Never meaning no harm.
Hey, just how you doing, my man? Yeah, oh, man, I used to watch that show as a kid. I thought everything was real. But you know what? When they try to make the remake in the movie,
Oh God, with Jessica Simpson. Oh God,
that wasn't
that
bad. But
no,
Johnny, but
that was absolutely terrible.
well, I did like Jessica Simpson, and I also did like Stifler. But the only guy that I didn't like was Johnny Knoxville. I mean, that was horrible. Johnny Knoxville in that movie was
Now,
terrible.
if you were a kid in 1983,
What was the
you
best
had He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
classic? Classic.
Reading Rainbow started in 1983.
Classic. I love that show.
Reading Rainbow.
Butterfly in the sky. I think of sky. Take a look.
They
It's
had the animated version of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
oh man, you're taking me back to like I
Yeah.
was 3, but
The Charlie Brown and Snoopy show.
oh, I hated that. I totally hated that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I watched.
G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was on in 1983.
Yes, I was 3, so I watched it like 2 years
He-Man
later.
and Masters of the Universe. I have the power.
Yeah, so just like I said at the beginning of the episode, the 80s were great. Those were the good. That was the best decade to grow up in. It was the 80s, hands down.
Alrighty.
The best
Oh,
thing.
we also had Fraggle Rock too. Fraggle Rock was on in 1983.
I I know what Fraggle Rock is.
That's another Jim Henson creation.
Yeah, I didn't think they were that great. Yeah, the best.
All right. Do, 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 do.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounded really bad, Miles. I'm glad that you're okay. That, that could be scary. What happened to you? And also, the Dallas Cowboys running back in 1983 broke the record. Tony Dorsett broke the 99-yard record in a single game in 1980. And it came against the Minnesota Vikings.
So in Super Bowl 17, the then Washington Redskins won against the Miami Dolphins.
And who was the QB?
For the Dolphins?
I know on the Dolphins. I think it was Dan
No,
Marino.
that was not. That was just before they drafted Dan Marino.
And who was the quarterback? Was it Greasy?
No. Greasy had already retired.
Gracie. I just had a major snack.
David Woodley.
David Wood. And who was the QB for the Redskins?
Little guy by the name of Joe Theismann.
Isn't that the guy that broke his leg
Yep.
in a gruesome way?
Hmm?
That was a pretty bad injury.
Yeah, it severed his. I think it cut out. I think it cut an artery in his leg.
And it was bad.
Mm-hmm. Um, on October 31st, 1983, George Halas, the founder of the league and the Chicago Bears, died.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I thought it was
Doug
Doug.
Williams played in played for them. I believe that was the
But didn't he win a Super Bowl too?
who?
Doug Williams.
Um,
I thought Williams
Doug
won.
Williams, I believe won. I believe that was the one against the Bills, if I recall.
Yeah, but they didn't
That
win
was
that
one of the
one.
ones against the Bills,
So that has to be in the
or
late
or that had
70s.
to be, or it was later in the '80s. Um,
I know,
like
I
like like
know.
like somewhere in between the.
You, oh man, you were a Viking fan in '83. Oh,
Yeah, the
gonna,
Alex Smith injury is pretty close.
I'm not gonna hold that against you, Miles.
Yeah, the Alex Smith injury was eerily similar to
Yes, it was.
Joe Theismann.
Yes, it was. That was. I mean, that injury was gruesome.
And that was actually the same exact injury that Joe had. So I don't think Joe had that many issues though in recovering.
Well, I think if my memory is right, I think he retired after that season where he got
What,
hurt.
Smith?
No, Side,
Yeah, because there. I mean, even if he could play, he would be severely impaired. I mean,
and I think that's when they got Doug Williams.
yeah. Let me see here.
Yeah, I think you're right about that one. Just
That was in. Yeah, he was named. He won the 1988 or 1987 Super Bowl. So the 1987 season, he won it against the Broncos,
okay.
throwing 4 touchdowns in a single quarter.
What a game! What a
Huh?
game that was! What a game that was! I went back and watched that game. It was exciting. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys.
Let me see here.
The '80s
1983 was just a great year for movies, for TV shows, entertainment in general. I mean,
sports.
sports wise too. It's a great year for sports.
Yeah, like I was telling Phil, the '80s were the best decade. In my opinion, no other decades can beat out the '80s. I'm, I don't care what anybody says that 1980s was the best decade of all time. So 83 was the year of yuppies. So, Mom,
Yeah.
what is yuppies? Or Phil, do you know what a yuppie is?
I'm sorry?
Do you know what a yuppie is? Yuppie.
Yep. Yep.
Miles said,
Young, upwardly mobile professionals.
yeah, Miles said that was the year of the yuppie. Young. Oh, okay, that's what that means. Yuppie means that. Okay, did not know that. That's great. I learned it. I learned something that I didn't know. I was already on my fourth year in computer. Wait,
Oh, okay. So, so the big news of 1983 was that this was the first full year of Hall of Fame second baseman Ryan Sandberg for the Chicago Cubs. He came in a trade in 1982, but was in mostly in minor league stints throughout the year.
okay, cool.
Yeah, it was the first full year of his Hall of Fame career. So wasn't the breakout year, but
But yeah,
yeah. So I mean, just a fun year.
it was.
I can imagine hating that. Especially with how rudimentary computers were back then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And those computers were not cheap either in the 80s. They were.
So what do we have in 1983 for cars?
What about the 5.0 Mustang? When did that come out? I know that was the best sports car in the 80s. Was the Mustang 5.0.
Well, if you wanted to get something that was maybe foreign made and still had a little bit of zip to it, you had the Toyota Celica Supra.
And to this day, people are looking for that car.
What, the Celica?
Yep,
Mm.
car collectors.
And then, ooh, here's a good one. The Datsun 280 ZX Turbo.
Oh god. Oh god. The worst car, hands down.
No, no. Worst car of the 80s was the Yugo.
Are you kidding me? That was the most funnest car you can
Yeah,
drive.
really great when you run into it and it just crumples.
Hey, they made it so light. The car was so light.
Yeah, because it's made from communism.
Oh, come on.
It's a commie car.
That's it, yes.
Then we had the Volkswagen Rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbit.
Then we had the Volkswagen Golf 2, the second generation of the Volkswagen Golf. The Oldsmobile Cutlass. Ooh, good one.
Those are
Buick
big cars.
Questor.
And
Ford Orion. God,
which
that's an
one?
ugly looking car.
Which car?
This one. Here, let me show you.
Ford Orion, huh?
Ford Orion. Yep. Here, let me show it for you.
I heard of it. Hey, Stroud, how you doing?
There you go.
I
This is
think
the Fort Orion right here.
I think the Steelers got fleeced on that.
There we go.
Oh man, I knew a person that had that car.
Oh, that's a 93. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah, that wasn't that old.
Yeah, that doesn't look that old. Hold on one second.
I know people who drive that till now.
Hey, it's better than something we got today. Some of the stuff we got today just falls apart.
Really, Mom? Really, I did not know that.
Yes, that is when the internet became the internet. Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. But I bet the internet was very, very, very slow.
And rudimentary. Yes, it was. I believe. I don't believe it was made affordable for anyone other than people in the upper middle class and the rich until probably the mid 90s, I would guess.
No, because I
Mid to
remember
late
when I was
90s.
like 6 years old and I went to elementary school, we had a computer class. And I think that we had the internet in school.
It was just slow as hell.
Yeah, yeah, it was slow as hell, but my one. Yeah, back in the day, you had to plug the internet into your wall, the phone jack. That was the only way you could get on the internet. I remember using the internet around the time when Doom came. Yeah, Doom came out in '92, I believe. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was the same thing. Like the internet connection was shit. You have to plug it up to your phone jack. You have to wait for it to get online. It was bad.
Man, I mean, this is also a year. I mean, there's I mean, there's so many great. I mean, this was still a year that you could still go to an arcade and have a bag of quarters and just spend the entire day with a bag of quarters.
Yeah, but back in the day, you didn't even have to pay a quarter. It was like a dime to play game.
You know, David, the one that scares me is if AI becomes like the one computer in 2001, A Space Odyssey, where it basically goes rogue and locks everyone in. And
Yeah, that would be scary. But you were, the most scary part is it's like if it was like Terminator, the AI took over the whole world.
the AI, those are AI robots, though.
But they're still part of AI. I'm just afraid that AI is going to take over the whole world. You never know what computers can do. They can do anything they want. Well, back in the 90s, I found out the internet was faster at nighttime and slower in the daytime. So if you wanted to go online, you would have went online at night.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. So, but yeah, that's 1983 for you. What a crazy time.
It's just like today. Still living in crazy times. Just
Now with the lunatic.
hmm? What's that?
We didn't have a lunatic in the White House like we do now.
No, you just had a racist and a guy who wanted to gut the government. So
You're talking about Ronald Reagan?
all that student loan debt and stuff like that was started under him. All of that.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
still better than what we have now.
the thing is that none of his policies were experienced until 20 years after he was out. Yeah, society's insanity has gone up. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he
Yep,
dropped the high taxes.
yep. He started doing the tax cuts for the rich.
Yeah, so
He wasn't. I mean, my dad said as a kid it was a great time to grow up, but looking upon it now, the things that Reagan did,
yeah, but as a kid in the '80s, you don't
you
think
didn't
about
know.
that
You
stuff.
didn't know.
No, you just back then I could have stayed out until like after dark and nothing would happen to me. Now you don't want your kids to go out after dark.
Hmm.
Oh man, yeah, doubled in your lifetime. Jeez.
All right, we're not going to get into that stuff.
People are so confused.
We're not going to get into that stuff. We are not going to get into politics. We're just going to get talk about what culture was like. We're talking about culture things. Yes, I understand politics is a part of culture, okay?
Yes,
But
so,
we're just trying to be very brief about it, okay? We're not trying to go into political discussions here. This is not a political channel. This is not a political podcast. So
so
we're just trying to bring back a little bit of nostalgia.
let me ask you guys, what decade do you want to hear about next, or what year?
Yeah. Do you want us to do the 50s? Maybe the 60s? I mean, we've already done the 60s. We've done the 80s and 70s twice. So what decade would you like to see us do?
This is all for you guys. You want '70s again? Okay, I'll put a poll out, but I will try to put the poll out a little 1 week early.
Yeah. In 1995, I would have been -2.
I was 15. And
I was
I
minus
was
two in
trying to get my
1995.
I was trying to get my driver's permit in 1995.
There you go. I think that's a good one. Let's do 1995 next week.
Man, I'm old. In 95, oh yeah, we can do 95. And she was
I think that would be a fun one. That'll be a fun one. They haven't done the 90s yet, so I think that'll be fun.
I grew up in the 90s also, so.
Yep.
But I still think I had more fun in the 80s than the 90s. Hands down. Hands down, the 80s were better than the 90s. But yeah, next week we'll definitely do the 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, I'm sure Miles is just.
Miles is like 14 years older than me. So, but I think my, yeah, I think my mom.
I think Miles 20. I think Miles is 20 years older than you.
No, because in 1995,
19. Yeah, 19. You're right. 19.
Yeah, she was 34 in 95, and I was
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
I was
19. Yeah. I can't do math right now. It's still early.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You know what they say? The 50s are the new 30s.
Sure.
That's what they say. But
yeah, and 18 is the new 21, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and 18 is the new 21.
Yeah.
So anyone convincing the judge can say, yeah, 18 is the new 21.
Yeah.
I got caught drinking early, so.
Yes, it is.
By the way, folks, if you guys haven't heard, for the first time in 45 years, Led Zeppelin is reuniting and going on tour. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but I just wanted to put that out there. First time since 1980 they have been on tour.
Led Zeppelin?
Led Zeppelin is back.
How old are those guys, man?
80s, I think.
Jesus Christ.
I think well, they're going to be touring with the original drummer's son.
So. The drummer's son?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Jason Bonham rather than John Bonham. So.
To be honest with you guys, I never heard a Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. Dun 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 dun. I'm pretty sure you've heard "Stairway to Heaven." You've heard "Stairway to Heaven." I
gotta look it up.
Convinced of that. Yeah, "Stairway to Heaven." You. Good grief! If you haven't heard "Stairway to Heaven," I mean, pretty much anything off that 4 album is pretty good. So, but "Stairway to Heaven" is probably the most iconic song, along with "Whole Lot of Love."
Led Zeppelin. Is that
Yep.
African American dude that played the guitar?
Huh?
Led Zeppelin.
No, there's no African in there, so
I know. I mean,
yeah.
African American.
No, there's no African Americans in there, so
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
inspired by Delta. A lot of their music is inspired by Delta blues, which is some African American music, but
I can't put my finger on it.
they're British.
Yeah, I can't remember Led Zeppelin.
Yep. Then they're uh, one of I think 3 is probably my favorite as a complete album. I like that one. Um, yeah, they do have a lot of at least a couple songs inspired by Lord of the Rings. At least 4 that I know of. 3 of which are on the same album.
Now you guys got me intrigued. I'm gonna look it up.
Yep. Alrighty. But yeah, Led Zeppelin is back. And actually, the reason why they got their name is actually inspired by The Who. The drummer from The Who basically went, you're going to go over about as heavy as a Led Zeppelin. Okay. We'll just call ourselves that then. Yeah, I mean they were probably the biggest band of the 70s, to be honest. They were right up. I think they were right up there with the Eagles.
I found something. It's the 10th worst Led Zeppelin song of all time.
It's probably stuff that most people don't even know about.
Number 10 is For Your Life.
Yeah, I think that's off of House of the Holy.
Number 9 is Wearing and Tearing. There's a lot of hot.
There's a lot of deep tracks probably on there.
Wow, there is a lot of Moby Dick.
Yep. Oh, Moby Dick's on there? Really?
Yeah, the worst. That's the 5th worst Led Zeppelin song.
Why? Because there's no song, there's no lyrics to it. It's just a drum solo, pretty much.
Was there every really a time when fans were getting for drum solos? It feels like such. So didn't like the drum solos in it by the drummer.
Yeah, Moby Dick is a great song. If you like how drummers compose drumming music, you'll love Moby Dick.
And the number 1 worst song ever by Led Zeppelin was Wallet Walk.
I'm sorry?
Walter Walks in 1982. The song.
Yeah, it's probably off their last album, Coda.
Man.
They didn't have a lot of hits after, I'd say, Houses of the Holy.
Okay. You guys are way better than me. Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. We better get going. I got to get something in my belly.
Yes, he does. He needs nourishment.
I need some food.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to you guys. You guys are wonderful. I know it's a little early in the morning, but I hope you like it. And like I said earlier at the beginning, we are doing this podcast on Saturdays now. Saturday
Yep.
morning.
And next week we'll be doing 1995.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be. Yeah, I promise I'll do more research for that episode.
Hey, we were just joking about that earlier, David. That you know, uh, Jay being born in 1980, he was only 3 in 1983, and he was like, I was still on the bottle at that point of milk, not of anything else, of milk.
I was on the bottle. I used to be on the bottle from 1980 to 1984.
hmm But that would, I mean, he's like, yeah, here's a picture of Jay at 3 years old getting drunk off a soju,
In my bottle.
starting him young,
In my
starting him
bottle.
young.
So yeah.
Yep.
But
He's
guys,
lost in his bottle.
yeah, can you imagine that?
There's
It is. It is.
a message in the bottle. It says help.
But anyway, guys, like I said, we're doing this on Saturdays instead of Wednesdays. And for the new people here, I am having a little minor procedure done on my neck on June 4th. So that day, well, that weekend, I'm not going to be able to do the podcast. So I just want to let you guys know that beforehand. But I will have videos coming up. Look, you guys are going to get a lot of content this summer. And I hope that you go see my last interview I did. It was a Vikings podcaster, and and they're pretty nice guys. So go check their channels out and check the interview out. I think you guys love it. And yeah, and Phil, you have anything you want to plug for your channel? Anything coming out? Any new videos? No?
Not right now. I'm still trying to find my. What I mean, I'm so busy. I mean, I am really really busy right now. So I'm working 3 jobs right now. So
Wow. That's a lot of jobs.
hopefully we can find time to do more. So I would like to get more out for you guys, but I'm just not sure when that's going to be right now. So we'll see when that is. Okay. I'll keep you guys posted though.
And also talking with Kenton. He'll be taking over the channel for probably about 2 weeks in June while I'm trying to recover from the surgery. So he's gonna take over the interviews and he's gonna take over all the plans that I had for those 2 weeks. So if you see a new face on this channel, it's just temporary.
Wow, Jay changed a lot. What did the surgery do?
So, yeah, but it's gonna be temporary. But I'll be looking over every single video that they put out. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna load it up. But if I do like it, I'll make sure my editor loads it up. And also, he's starting his own game channel. So when he sets up everything, I'll put it in the community tab and get you his screen name for Twitch and YouTube. So he's gonna stream on both platforms. But yeah, that's all about it, guys, for today. Oh, thank you. You noticed my haircut. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried
Yeah, I
to
was
go
wondering
for.
about you. I was
I'm,
wondering about you, Mile. We're glad you're okay.
yeah, we are. But like I always say, man, stay safe, stay positive, and we'll see you next week. And it was fun,
1995.
and it was fun talking to you guys. So we'll see you next week. All right, you guys all have a great weekend, and I hope everybody has a great Mother's Day weekend. And go hug your mom and tell them how much you
Absolutely.
love them.
Absolutely.
And to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day.
Hmm.
You too, Dave. You all have a great week. And Mom, I know you're a mom, so happy Mother's Day to you too. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but next week.
Yep.
I can't talk. All right, guys.
I can't English today.
I'm still on the bottle.
Yeah.